pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the many blessings you have given us, Lord. Lead and guide us, Lord, in all the directions, God, that we do, that they point positively toward you, God. Just lead and guide the commission as they make decisions for the county, God. And be prudent, God, keeping you in mind in all decisions, God. Just ask for a hedge of protection over our country, over our state, and over our county, and our cities, and our employees. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Let's just go down the line. We begin with Mr. Scales,
Thank you, good morning, Mr. President. We have 3 items to be considered for Public Works, Community Services, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee. Item number 1 is Video Industrial Services, and this project consists of 3,000 feet of sewer inspection and 6,000 service level inspections. Number 2 is Engineers of the South, LLC, which should cover Adamsville, Chestwood Medical Center improvement as an agreement for professional engineering services. And number 3 is ALDOT, and this is for a permit with the Alabama Department of Transportation to construct sanitary sewer facilities inside of their right-of-way. Do we have any questions? Or David Dinner, do you have anything you want to add?
You said 3,000, it's 300,000.
I'm sorry, I never said it. I did. I was awesome.
I'll move back. Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded for items 1 through 3. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We have new business for District 1. Thank you. Oh, yes, I did have one.
We'll do all of the business at the end. Just one that ends.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do all of it.
This is District 1.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Right.
All right, I don't see anyone. Mr. Spicy, so I don't know what we're going to do that one. Community development and human resource, Cook Green, Corn, Department of Workforce Development has one item. Jefferson County Community College Amendment 2, resolution authorizing Commission President to execute a line item modification agreement 0440153 from Jefferson County and Jefferson State Community College for 2020 out of school year youth program. Nigel, you want to do that?
Yes, sir.
I guess I just did it, didn't I? All right, what does this do now?
Discuss a modification, realigning some 2 line items from workforce experience to staff with Jeff State to allow them to operate this program.
I'm with you.
Second.
Move in second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There's no other business. Administrative and Infrastructure Committee, Roads and Trans. We got beaver control. Move. Second. Aye. Move in second, all in favor say aye.
Aye. I'm sorry, I did have one question, and I didn't mean to ask.
Oh, beaver?
No, I believe it was that workforce development, and we kind of, I got quiet on it, but I had a question as it relates to what that meant out of school youth.
What did you just say you got?
I did. Wow. Refreshing, isn't it? Now, at this time, I would you welcome me with?
Let's wait and do that when we get, that way we'll get through and we'll do it all this new business one time.
Sure.
Because we do have some more new business out of that too. Heather, do you want to do these? You got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all these are either quick claim deeds or something to do with it.
Quite a few tract acquisitions and quick claim deeds. We do have one ordinance for a multi-way stop at Rock Creek Road and Park Road. And then we also have a JSA for paving on Davenport Circle. So the city is paving their portion, and for a modest amount, we'll pick up ours.
I move 2 through 13.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes from the Jefferson County Commission meeting, May 26th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a temporary salary increase for Nigel Roberts. Nigel is, assuming the Director of Workforce Development. Cal, you want to elaborate on that?
As it says, placing Nigel internally as Director of Workforce Development. This is consistent with the way we do all in our sites.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have no business with this. I really should have some, but I need to move through the steps to the county because I've got several light projects at ball fields and all, playground equipment that really needs to get through so they can get to have something before winter time. So just to the county staff, not any problem if the blues don't show. Okay? Do you want to do any new business? I'm going to do it to him, guys.
Do it to you.
I will do it to him and we'll do it to him. All right, Joe, you're the man.
All right, finance, Ms. Dixon.
Good morning, Commissioners. Item number 1 is our unusual demand report. Items 2, 3, and 4 are our normal purchasing agenda report, purchasing exception report, and commerce report. Item number 5 is a PACA partnership with Limestone County Schools.
I'll move once you start.
Motion and second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Under Budget Management Office, we have multiple staff development, individual staff development, and our informational items.
Approval.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Developmental services, who's that? You got those, Mike?
Yes, sir.
All right, B 222-0005.
Yes, sir. This is a request for a transfer of a beverage license. It's just off-premise beer and wine for a convenience store. This is located along Old Springle Road. It has a history of off-premise sales. The most recent approval was back in 2006, and they've just kept it in perpetuity since then.
Do I have a motion?
Move the item.
Second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Cellular communications tower.
Yeah, we've been hit with cell towers lately. I don't know what's going on. We just need
Well, you should dodge them when they fall.
Right, yeah. This one is located off Rockdale Road. It meets all the specifications. There's a few technical things that they need to that are not within the confines of the zoning regulations. They've gone before the Board of Zoning Adjustment a couple of times. One time we advertised the site and we incorrectly advertised it. The second time we had a public hearing based on the location to the nearest resident because they're shorter or they're not meeting that requirement for how far they have to be away based on the height of the tower. They did obtain a variance for that. If there is an approval, there needs to be a contingency that they go back before the Board of Zoning Adjustment to be allowed to be located closer to the property line on the rear. This allows them to be further away from residences. Again, and this is just a sort of a perpetual fumbling of the ball on our end, if you will, just because there's been so much stuff that we've caught as we've reviewed it. So again, anyway, it's good for you all's approval as administrative. They just need that one final clearance from the Board of Zoning Adjustment they meet at the end of the month. Typically, we wouldn't bring this before you before we got all the variances, but we were kind of scared of what was going to happen with the World Games next month. And so, like I said, this would just enable us to go ahead and process the site review as well as the building review so that we can get them going and permit. Again, this has gone before the Board of Zoning Adjustment. There's been advertised and notice to go before the Board of Zoning Adjustment twice. Nobody has showed up in opposition.
Okay, that was the question. Do I have any questions? Do I have a motion?
Move the item. As presented.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Conditional use permit.
Yes, sir. Now, this one will be a public hearing due to the height of the tower itself. That's the way that our zoning regulations are set up. Because of the height, again, it has to go before the county commission as a public hearing. Notices have been sent out to everyone within 700 feet of the property. This one also had to go before the Board of Zoning Adjustment because they're closer to what we consider a protected residential area. That's either an area that is zoned for residential or has the density of a typical conventional R1 subdivision, if you would. Other than that distance requirement, it meets all of the other requirements that are set forth within our zoning regulations, and they did obtain a variance for that with the Board of Zoning Adjustment There was one person who showed up in opposition who had concerns about, there were concerns about the radiation from the tower and how the tower would fall. That person who showed up in opposition is not actually within 700 feet of the tower, but within 700 feet of the lease area. If that makes sense, because the lease area is much larger than where the tower is going to be located. Again, it did go before the Board of Zoning Adjustment. The Board of Zoning Adjustment did approve the variance request. And so, like I said, with that varied request, it does satisfy all of the requirements of design regulations as well as those that were varied by the BZA.
Out of curiosity, is this just another carrier putting up another tower?
No, this is a new tower.
It fills, but does it fill a footprint? Does it fill a gap in the footprint?
Yes. If you will, all that information in your packet. This right here shows you the gap that's there within the coverage. And this is kind of like, where this is located is kind of like a small village, if you will, right around the intersection of Woodruff Mill Road and Shady Grove Road out of Adamsville, or just west of Adamsville. Right here you'll see where you got the coverage that's based on this. That's all highlighted in your colors right here. You got your yellows and your greens that show your in-car, your in-house, that sort of coverage. And of course, this shows that there is some sort of gap that's here. And if you scroll to the next one, that will give you an indication of the coverage that will be there then.
And I guess the point of my question was that somebody's not just putting up another tower because it's another service provider. It's actually serving a purpose and filling a gap in coverage.
Correct. Yes, that's correct. And this will also, this is on a volunteer fire department's property, so it should help them with emergency coverage as well. Second thing is that all of our towers, when we require these, we require co-location or co-location up for 3 or 4 providers depending on the height. And this one is showing co-location capability for 4 carriers.
Was there a reason for the 250 height?
Again, that's just covering, trying to cover the range and trying to get that in-base coverage for either vehicles and or within houses.
Yeah, we got another one of those coming. Same situation. All right, do I have a motion on the table? So, on the motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. All right, we have courthouse schedule for in-person absentee voting. Is there anyone from the probate court or the clerk's office want to talk to us about it?
Commissioner, I believe, was this on the last agenda and we punted it to the next? So I know, 2 weeks ago, the Juneteenth holiday, the courthouse was closed. So they were asking us to open for the voting, but I believe the states is
The 20th, wasn't it?
right. But since then, the states have passed a holiday for Juneteenth, so I think they're trying to move that voting day.
Well, okay. What do you want us to do here? Courthouse schedule for in-person absentee voting is pretty benign as far as what it is we're doing, or need to do. So
We'll pass it to the agenda.
We'll pass it to the agenda.
I'll call the probate judge today.
yeah, just say, hey, just give us a little bit more clarity.
Okay.
All right, so that's a motion.
Yes, it
A
is.
motion.
Move that in.
So if you want this in the backup, it says from 8 to 5 on Monday would be open at the Birmingham Industrial Courthouses would be open 8 to 5, facilitate the in-person absentee voting process by Birmingham Messenger City Clerks. No other offices within the courthouse will be open.
Well, and that's what we did discuss last time, so this is not a variance or change from that.
Right.
Okay.
The only thing, I believe the state's changed.
The state changed, and I think that they're probably gonna want to follow the state's guidelines.
So we won't have to do that, but I'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah, and still go to the agenda, it's just so how you provide us with information, clarification.
Have a motion in a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Tax collector. Anybody from tax collector on?
I'm here.
Very good. All right, tell us what you want.
What this is we have a state statute that requires the tax collector to do a final settlement each year of all the taxes we're supposed to collect and that we do collect. And we have to do a report in there, the first commission meeting in June. We have to do litigation, that sort of thing. Well, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing because we don't get the final settlement until the end of June. They require the passage of the first meeting in June. So this is just authorizing the commission president on the completion of those statements to sign off on that. Which we did this last year as well.
I'll move it.
Have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Have a item of new business, and we'll defer to the.
All right.
Like you said, yeah, so, and they won't get to the end.
Information technology and economic development. I have two items. One is for Norfolk Southern Railway Company lease agreement on Tower. Sri, are you on?
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners. It's a small correction on the agenda. It's not an expense item for ITS. It's actually a revenue generation where we are leasing our tower for Norfolk Southern Railway Company. It's an annual lease of $9,000 with a 10-year period of getting $98,557.48. That's the revenue for the county for a 10-year lease.
So I have a motion to accept.
So,
A motion to second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I also have a infrastructure grant to help the Rocky Ridge Fire District in building a training facility that they will work with the city of Vestavia to help train the firefighters and police officers. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That is it for me.
Let's go back to what your question was on that, item two, do that first. New business.
Oh, okay, absolutely. Yeah, so if you can expand, Mr. Roberts, on exactly what is that program? And we are talking about Jefferson State. Is that the Northeast campus, or is that?
It's the entire county, all the students within the county. To provide out-of-school youth services for students 16 to 24. It includes short-term skills and certifications. Some of the classes that those include admin, medical assistance, phlebotomy, computer tech, dental assistance, IT, help desk training. Their salaries range anywhere from $10 an hour up to $13.50 an hour.
So, a quick question: how are you all publicizing to get more community involvement or recruiting of your students?
We work with the schools and examine closely on our providers. We know a lot of students that walk into the Birmingham Career Center. We try to stir our way toward CAPT to go through these services if we can provide them other services through the Career Center. Primarily, it's Jeff State's role to get their students. Their goal is to have about 25 students go through the program on an annual basis.
If you don't mind, if you could email us some information about it, I'm sure, particularly for Commissioner Knight and myself, we would do whatever we need to do to help promote that. Being that Jeff State has been only in his district and currently in mine, so anything we can do. And how long is this program?
They are annual programs that are funded annually. We have another contract coming up probably this meeting or next month that will refund them for the next round.
Okay, thank you.
So this is a refund and not upfront.
Yes, what happens is Jeff State, they register their students, and our staff does like case management with the students to make sure they're eligible and qualified. And then Jeff State provides, it's not like tuition, kind of like tuition reimbursement once they go to the program.
But do they have to complete the program before we will provide the money to Jeff State?
They go through, it's like classes, we pay per semester for class. And the ultimate goal is to have these kids go into good employment once they finish school.
Right.
item of new business? You okay? Everybody's so quiet. All right, so,
I have. You got it, be good. I got one. Which one?
I would, how many items do we have?
I have one.
1, 2, 3.
We're gonna do it one at a time,
Or no?
I mean, doing them all together.
Yeah, we can say we want, we got 3 items of new business, so requiring items.
Okay, three, I thought it was more than that.
We have more than 3.
Roads has 3, roads and transportation has 3.
Could we take them by like department or by issue instead, so we don't
Yeah.
mess that up?
All right, well, how about this? I move that we, consider multiple items of new business for consideration.
Second. You said multiple.
Motion, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, everyone, no one's opposed, so we're good, unanimous. Consent has been satisfied. Well, you start, you ladies first.
Morning, Commissioners. We have 3 items of new business. The first is a contract for ClearGov software. It's a budgeting software to assist us with our capital program. I'm very excited about the capabilities of this and what it'll help us do and also make available. So
What is it?
ClearGov, it's a
Okay, here it is.
yeah, it's a software platform that assists us with our budgeting process. They're NACE partners and have won a lot of awards recently with their platform and how they help to organize the budgeting process and also make that available. So very excited about that tool.
And let me say, it also helps general services, so it's a capital project management system that'll help us all communicate with you much better and stay on track.
So it's 56,000. What's the duration? I think this is yearly.
It's annually, and that's the capital and operating models.
And what is the motion? For 1 year?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you, at what point did you come back for like a 3-year, like this next budget?
Yeah.
Have a motion,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
The next item is the Gateway contract. We just received the agreement back from Birmingham. We have the letter of commitment from Aldott and are expecting to have the letter from UAD in our hands today. We needed to get this on the agenda so that we can get 3 full cycles in before the World Games.
So a reminder, the first Gateway project was funded by the private groups where they went and they did the heavy clearing and planting trees. This does litter pickup and mowing. So we were in a rush to try to get at least 1 mowing cycle before the program started.
What is our commitment?
I'm just trying to remember one and I want to add.
So there is a breakdown in the packet that shows the year 1, 2, and 3 based on the bids, what the contribution is from each of the entities. So year 1, it's $241,000. Year 2, it's $247,000, and year 3, it's $253,000.
So that hasn't changed.
Yeah, no.
And we've already allocated the money.
Yeah.
I did have a question, and it was in regards to, you saying for this upcoming World Games, is that what I'm hearing? Okay, so why is the length of the contract 3 years?
Because they're gonna keep doing it even after World Games to keep it.
Well, hopefully you're gonna do it after, so that it's gonna lead up to the next set of World Games.
Right, fire, police, program, through 25.
But yeah, so in other words, there's gonna be some sort of consistency in what we're doing.
Not a one and done. Right.
Second.
Third.
And then the last item is a modification of Gardendale's through road agreement. It's removing Odom Road and replacing with a section of Mount Olive Road.
Move it.
Second.
What you looking
I
for?
move it.
Well, you moved in the second, let's vote.
One is a correction of our, tax levy to correct the millage rate in the city of Birmingham from 7.1 to 10.1. We didn't catch it last time, just to correct our tax levy.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any other business to come before this body?
Yeah, we got items.
That's yours.
Wow.
Okay, well, some more. Mr. President, so I've given everyone, this is for the Farsdale Fire District. And so we know that we had one death to occur, we replaced that, but then we had, one term to expire. And so his name is Charles, Smith. You need to also be aware, I've, given you all a stapled copy of his resume. He's a veteran, in addition to the fact he graduated from he attended Florida A&M University, also attended Miles College, and so I wanted to make sure that we try to get all of the fire district appointments done and completed with. So anyone have any questions in regards to Charles Smith at this time? All right, we have the motion to move and second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for your consideration.
Is there any other items? Any commissioner like to address somebody?
Just to, wasn't much about it yesterday on the news, but yesterday was the celebration of 78 years of D-Day. I hope we don't start this forgetting about some of the things like that. Because the tens of thousands that were killed or wounded that day freed France and then liberated Europe. So that's something I don't think we should just let go of.
Especially with what's going on over there right now.
I'd just like to say, we got some fresh donuts from Krispy Kreme and coffee.
Yes, sir.
I want to introduce you on the new deputy county manager, unofficially, at the next commission meeting, we do blessing, I'll introduce him and the director of general services and deputy director. Somebody brought in a bunch of hot, fresh Krispy Kreme, y'all stop by.
I move that we immediately adjourn.